Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo. This time, I believe I'm streaming live because I've got the notification that says on air. Although on the other dashboard, it's not telling me that I'm actually on air. So I know I'm live somewhere. I got the notification from YouTube saying I'm live. Let me just go ahead and first say thank you for tuning in to TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. I'll get to the topic du jour in just a moment. It's definitely working from my end. It just may not have gone out to the right place. YouTube is in the middle of changing everything. Like, everything. And you wanted to know why I haven't been streaming specifically from the Play Shop here and primarily in front of a green screen is because I can get things to work well there on the PC. But for some reason or another, I can't get it to work very well here. I don't know. So YouTube is upgrading their entire live dashboard experience. And even though I know I'm streaming live, I have no idea if it's streaming to where I told everybody to watch. Bottom line, turn on notifications on YouTube, head over to Discord, link is in the video description, or at least should be, live.pirillo.com. That'll redirect you to the Discord server. I don't see any updates here where everyone was commenting. Okay, so then I guess I'm going to do this. youtube.com/ChrisPirillo/live. I'm going to see if I'm live on the internet here, which sounds odd. No, I'm not. I'm live somewhere. Where am I live? Okay, that's a live YouTube video. Okay, great. Oh, 12 people are here. Earl Green is here. Thank you, Earl. You got the notification. Oh, God. Hey, could anybody, Airwolf, Earl, whoever, tell everybody in Discord this link? Give everybody this link. I'll just do it. Give me a second. I'm copying the link to let everybody. This is what happens when you do live video. What do you want? Other than a live video. Believe it or not, this is a heck of a lot easier for me than it is to edit a video. Okay. Oh, I am here live now. Okay, there we go. Sending now. The cantina has been updated. I'll update the title, description, thumbnail, and everything after I'm done. Actually, there's kind of an Easter egg. And are you kidding me? Wait. Did I just get a new notification that I'm live? Is it just me? Or is YouTube always broken? Okay, speaking of broken things, I want to spend some time today talking about the Pixel. And that's obviously the title, the topic du jour. The Easter egg in the thumbnail, I'm not sure if anybody's going to catch it. The original thumbnail that I had published for the live video that I thought was scheduled in another YouTube location. But look out for that Easter egg. You let me know. If you see the Easter egg in the thumbnail, get a look hard where that was a clue. So stay tuned for that. I made reference to this the other day, and in fact, you can see the full show notes in the Discord server in the Google chatter room. I've also been posting some photos there, just some random examples as I've been taking them in regular use of the Pixel now that I've had it for a little over a day. I'm at 85% battery. But I've mentioned this before. I don't keep it plugged into the charger, but generally speaking, I could probably go through an entire day without having to charge. That's been my use case, and I'm always on it. I'm just not like streaming live video. I'm streaming video of any kind. Streaming live video, certainly. Not really listening to music. Not playing games. I know. I'm all into the productivity. That's me. I'm productivity man. That's if I was a superhero, that would be me. So I've caught a fair share of Pixel 4 reviews. Most of them I digested before I got the Pixel, and honestly, my favorite Pixel reviews to this point come from Reddit. The Google Pixel subreddit is a recommendation I would have for any Pixel user. And if you want to know why, it's because a lot of these people in the subreddit have been Pixel users, some of them from the very first Pixel. So they kind of know what to expect. They're not there, to pile on each other. They're there to support each other, specifically as Pixel users. So they're a bold exception to a lot of rules. It's a subreddit that, I'd recommend. I am on Reddit. I'm not as active as I should be. I did download the Reddit app today, though. I don't have Reddit Gold, and I think I'm going to have to pick that up, if only to get past the annoyances of ads. So the Google Pixel subreddit is definitely a place you may want to check out if you are interested in the Pixel. You want to hear from other Pixel users, and specifically users who have a reasonable perspective, because they're just like dyed in the wool, right? They're fans of the Pixel, and many of them are very honest. In fact, there was a thread today that was documenting something that I experienced, and I actually turned to a couple of friends to ask their experience, because I knew that they had Pixel 4s as well, and we went back and forth, and it turns out that there seems to be an anomaly with ambient EQ. That is the Google's version on the Pixel of Apple's True Tone. It trips. I mentioned this yesterday. Like, I'll just randomly say Google, and it is just so sensitive to that. Just saying Google Assistant will trip. Like, it's just, I need to retrain it, because it's just, that's driving me nuts. Anyway, what'll happen is if you turn the brightness slider all the way down to 0, and you turn off the phone, you turn it back on, like let's say you leave it overnight, when you're looking at it, it's at 0%, the brightness, sometimes the everything's kind of crushed, and the screen kind of either takes on a purple or a green kind of color. And it's weird. I'm like, well, wouldn't it just be green, or wouldn't it just be purple? Why is it kind of shifting between purple and green at this 0%? It seems that the culprit may very well be ambient EQ. So in turning it off, it seems that we can get past this particular bug, at least from what I have been able to perceive. I'll know more tomorrow. I turned it off. It's a software issue. It doesn't seem to be a hardware issue, and that's the good news. And so this leads me into something that I'm going to underscore over and over and over and over and over again. The Pixel is a software story, not a hardware story, and so many reviewers are I guess, stuck in the modality of, hey, it's a new piece of hardware, therefore it's all about the hardware, right? No, it's not. Hell, I'll go all the way back to the very first iPhone. Oh my God, I'm touching an iPhone. Can you believe I'm touching an iPhone and talking about it? How could this be? I'm reading from an iPad right now. Oh, what's going on? What's happening, Chris? So. I know some people want to. You hate Apple, really? I hate them. Oh yeah, I hate them so much. No, I want them to do better. I want every device that I would like to use to be better. The first iPhone was more a software story than it was a hardware story. It was under-spec'd. Compared to its contemporaries, it couldn't compete at all. It was laughed off before it actually shipped and people actually tried it. The thing that won me over to the iPhone wasn't the hardware. It was never the hardware for me. Ever. It was the software. So that's what I appreciate about the Pixel. It's a software story. It's why I don't believe that Google is going to necessarily add a new bit of hardware to the Pixel just to add hardware. They have to figure out their software story. That said, there were a few tweets that came out today suggesting that the Pixel 4 actually had, in software, support for 4K 60 FPS video recording. And it was toggled at the last minute. So could that feature be coming back to the Pixel? Possibly. Maybe not. Here's the thing. I don't think having 4K 60 FPS video is going to sell the Pixel any more than not having it would. Meaning, people aren't going to buy it if they're not going to buy it. They're going to look for any excuse not to buy it. Well, I can't buy it because it doesn't have a wide-angle lens. I can't buy it because it doesn't have 4K 60 frame per second video. Okay, what if Google adds it? Would you buy it then? Well, no, because battery life. Well, my battery life's been fine, and I'm on a Pixel XL. I'm not sure if I'm an average user, below average user. I think I could make it through a day. Right? I'm just come up with excuse after excuse after excuse, and that's fine. But let's just see it for what it is. Even if Google were to add all those whiz-bang features, even if they had parity with other hardware, it ain't going to make people jump. I truly, honestly believe that. Largely because people have, picked their team, right? And they're team this, team that, or team the other thing. I'm team everything. I'm team what's the best experience for me. It's the device I have to use. So when reviewers are used to just looking at hardware, software is a footnote. It's a footnote. It's always a footnote. And the Pixel story is software. And I'll tell you this too, there was someone who posted in Discord earlier today. I know I'm talking about Discord, but honestly, it worked. The people who are on Discord are watching this live video. You might not have gotten the notification. It's not like I didn't warn you. So he posted a link saying this is why Apple's software has seemingly not been as great as it was in the past. I mean, to some of us, yeah, we're like going, of course, that's exactly what was going on. iOS 13.2 has made my iPhone 8 Plus kind of usable again. I know that sounds really weird for me to say, but they haven't mitigated everything, but it's getting there. So if Apple releases a phone and people say, well, they'll fix it in software, they can fix it in software, I'm getting the iPhone, they'll address it with 13.2. Well, then you got to say the same thing for Google. Don't write Google off because they haven't gotten all their software issues patched and addressed. And not to say that all the things that I want to have addressed on the Pixel 4 are going to be addressed. One I'm really worried about. I mentioned this early on. Google Maps is throttled to 60 frames per second. Now, I said that before having any empirical evidence. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, they locked it at 60. Indeed, today, it was discovered that the Google Maps team basically said, block this app from running 90 frames per second. I'm sure it could be a battery hog. It's graphic intensive. Either way, will Google Maps be able to take advantage of a 90 hertz screen? At some point, I would hope. But right now, on the Pixel at least, it's throttled. So, will that get fixed? I don't know. Does Google see it as a bug or a feature? I don't know. So, it's not that every issue in software will be fixed in software, but for the Pixel to work in a Pixel-esque way, it's got to stay a software story. The hardware, I think, for a lot of Pixel users is secondary. And like I said, it's Pixel users. I don't think anybody's trying to win anybody over. It's like, no, we like what the Pixel is because of the software. I mean, you've got people who moved from the 1, 2, 3, 4, and they maybe they skipped a couple generations because they weren't happy with the hardware. But they like what Google is attempting or trying to do. And I think that's still largely a software story. Every year there's been some kind of shortcoming. Memory management issues last year. Wasn't a hardware problem. Yeah, I mean, could we have had more RAM? Sure. I mean, who's going to argue against that, right? But it was an optimization problem. They changed how memory management was handled, and the issue was a pretty dramatic issue early on until they kind of addressed the issue and tweaked it in software. Did I have problems with memory management on the Pixel 3 XL? Not to my knowledge. Maybe I look for different things. Am I having memory management issues now? No. Am I having battery life issues? No. See, the thing is that when the whole narrative is controlled by hardware, we never get around to talking about the software. Very few people do. And there have been reviewers who have paid attention to the software. And not just as a footnote, not just saying, it's a 90 hertz screen, but I don't see the difference. Okay, let's talk about the forehead. Let's complain about the thing that doesn't illuminate and that you never look at when you're actually using the phone. Some people are annoyed by different things. I give them that. It's just that the conversation tends to be dominated by hardware. Pixel is a software story. There are reviewers who get it. I'm not going to name names, but when you hear a reviewer only talk about the hardware and only rattle off the specs, they're missing the boat. They really are. And I'm not just saying that as an apologist. I mean, there's probably a phone that's better for you. I'm not going to argue that. And there's definitely things that Google's not doing well enough with the Pixel experience. But it is on the path. Much like I might recommend that you don't buy an iPhone the first day, wait 3 months, wait for a few patches, wait for 13.3 or whatever. I'd say the same thing for the Pixel. Wait a few, and I mentioned this the other day too, wait a few months. Wait a few months and you know, kind of see what the issues are, see if they get patched in software. They're already mentioning that they're going to fix certain issues with the refresh rate on lower brightness levels. I'm forcing 90 hertz across the board. I prefer it that way. I just don't want to guess. That's what I want. I turned off ambient EQ. It should address some of the other issues that I've had. The issues specifically in lowering the brightness to zero and having really weird color, like RGB issues, anomalies that seem to be software, not hardware related. Because when I don't have ambient EQ on and I lower it down, if it was hardware, it would look the same. But it doesn't, which tells me, again, it's software. Can it be fixed? Yeah. Will it? I don't know. So, to expect the Google Pixel to have parallel offerings to its contemporaries, I think is missing the point. Do I think that the Pixel is perfectly priced? No. And it will go on sale. I believe that for most consumers, an A revision, an A cycle, which I hope next year is in line with these flagship releases, I think the A is more than sufficient. More than sufficient. For alphas, for someone, who wants a little bit more, still likes a good software experience, but, wants to be on the bleeding edge as much as Google can put into the hardware, yeah, you don't need an A revision. But, that doesn't mean that it's got to keep pace with the latest specs from other vendors. And I'm not saying that they're not trying to compete with other Android OEMs. It's just that I'm not sure that's where Google's focus is. It's never really been hardware. I mean, honestly, the fact that this device is sitting here, it's kind of shocking. Google's not a hardware company. They never will be. So the fact that we've got a piece of hardware from Google like this is pretty outstanding, pretty amazing. They're just not a hardware company. They're not going to chase the hardware specs. They're just going to continue to work on software and services and the overarching experience, with hardware being the footnote. I have to reiterate and underscore, experience is more than a slab of glass. It is, and that's what you can't speak to. Like when you get all these fancy camera shots, like, oh, look at the camera, look at the phone from this angle, and oh, look at the USB port, and yeah, look at there's the buttons there. Those are important, but we've seen it. Okay, talk about the general experience. Does this help? How does it help? Is it snappier than your previous experience? And this is the thing. That's why I recommend, in terms of Pixel versus other devices, if you're interested in the Pixel, listen to previous Pixel owners. Like a Pixel 3 XL, or Pixel 3 owners, or Pixel 2, or 1. Because they can tell you what's changed. Did things improve on this device? Yes. I believe, and this, I thought it was psychosomatic, but someone mentioned in the Discord server that he went from a 1 to a 4, and said that Android Auto was snappier as well. So it seemed just a hair faster. But there are other things that I do in terms of my regular workflow that I'm able to get through the tasks quicker. I don't have to wait for the system to respond. Like, I use the email link all the time, like a share link, open the email, and on the Pixel 3 XL, there's just maybe one more second worth of time, and that second gap doesn't necessarily exist on the Pixel 4 XL. Could it be faster? Sure. Is it fast enough for now? Okay, I mean, you can't. How am I gonna say no to that? But when hardware wonks get a hold of this, they say, well, it's not using the fastest storage option at all. Like, what's up with that, Google? It's not using the fastest processor. Like, yeah, but the hardware's only telling half the story. In fact, and I wish I knew the person's name. He does video editing on mobile devices, and he said that compared against its contemporaries, including those with faster processors, the Pixel 4 XL smoked them in terms of video rendering. So how could that be? A spec-wise slower device is actually faster. Well, the answer to that question is software. Optimization. That's the experience. And that, unfortunately, is very often overlooked. How's the experience? And this is what I wish more reviewers would speak to, instead of like, well, it's fast, but it's not the iPhone. Okay, I guess that's realistic. Take it for what it is. Is this a good Pixel experience? That's a great question to ask and to answer. Yes, this is, at its current revision, a solid Pixel experience. Notice I didn't say Android experience. It's a solid Pixel experience. Not perfect. There's definitely some catching up that has to be done, and I'll get to that in a tiny bit. Other reviewers don't seem to understand that this is an Android device, not necessarily a spec-checkbox device. Again, back to that hardware narrative, it's Google's chance to say, here's what we think Android could be. I mean, every company does that, right? Oh, hang on just a second. I love that sound, but I've got to turn on Do Not Disturb. Okay, do not disturb me. I can now do that, and the phone will unlock, because I'm getting used to not touching it in the back. But they're going to make Android as solid as they can for this particular device. They're not into it to put the latest hardware in it. If you just think about that for a minute. Google obviously powers Android. They obviously make the Pixel. Putting new hardware would do what? I mean, new hardware, like, let's say that, I'm just going to pull this out of thin air, the Snapdragon 855 Plus, right? A slight revision to the Snapdragon 855. Couldn't tell you the difference between the two, apart from one's faster. Okay. So, Google didn't put the Plus in here, because how is that going to help the Android story? I mean, is it going to make it faster? Sure. But is the 855 going to suffice? Maybe. Is it cheaper for them? Possibly. Could they make more money? Is there a bigger profit margin if they go with an 855 over an 855 Plus? No doubt. But it's still an Android device. It's an Android experience, not a spec checkbox. Even if they had all the latest specs that you were looking for, I don't think it's going to, as a non-Pixel user, I don't think that would have convinced you. I really don't. I don't think that'd convince you at all. If you were on a Samsung device and you liked it, or an HTC, or if they're still making them, or an LG, if you were on any one of those devices, I don't think the amount of hardware is going to convince you to take a serious look at a Pixel. I don't think that if you're wrapped up in Apple's ecosystem and you don't feel the pain that I felt, that a Pixel having, even if it had a wide-angle lens, the people who were clamoring and saying, well, Apple's got a wide-angle lens, they'd find something else to slag the Pixel about. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not a spec checkbox. People who don't want it, don't want it. And they're going to find any excuse to not want it. So what's Google going to do? Chase all the latest specs only to have the same people not want the device? Or focus on what they're better at doing, and that is software, services, experience. Hardware just so happens to be a part of it. So, those are the things that I think all these reviews, the subtext to all these reviews is just so far off. And then, there are some people who are going to stick with the Pixel. And most reviewers won't. They'll go right back to their iPhone, which is fine, it's cool. Hey man, it's their choice. Or they'll go to their other Android device or, BlackBerry WebOS device. That's where the task switching, was inspired eons ago. That was way ahead of its time, WebOS. My point is that for them, it's a hit, right? It's boom, and then move on, right? Because the next device is out. Well, that's where I'm going to steer you back to the subreddit for Google Pixel. Because these are the users who use it day in, day out. They know the ups, they know the downs, but they still like what is generally happening within that entire Pixel experience. So I would point you again towards those reviewers for the Pixel because they understand it fundamentally, or at least at a deeper level. We may even disagree. Someone may say, no, how could you say that Pixel's a software story? It's totally about the hardware. We might disagree. But I'm saying that they use the Pixel more often and will use it more often than might be, an average reviewer. This is also why you don't see me reviewing a million smartphones, because I don't want them. I'm not a hardware guy. I'm like, what am I going to tell you? Oh, it's got a screen and a volume button on the side and the power over here. I think differently. Everyone does, right? You know what I'm saying? So a few things that I wanted to mention in terms of what reviewers are getting right and wrong about the Pixel from what I've heard and what I've seen. So there have been software missteps. And the hardware narrative has been the narrative that Google's had to steer towards. But I will once again reiterate that they have been more transparent about what's coming down the pike than have other companies about fixes, about what they may not say yes or no or give a definitive timeline, but we know that certain shortcomings could be addressed if they are perceived as shortcomings. One shortcoming being if you sleep with strangers or people that you don't trust, you shouldn't leave your phone with the face unlock feature not on lockdown. I mean, again, I will reiterate, I would not recommend you sleep with people you don't trust. It's just it's my personal rule. I only sleep with people I trust. I'm not judging you if you don't. If you're like, I want to sleep with anybody. I don't know this person from Adam. They look kind of creepy. I think I'll sleep with them. Okay, just put your Google Pixel 4 on lockdown. What? People couldn't unlock devices by holding a device gently up against a finger? I mean, okay. My point is, where there's a will, there's a way. Google didn't get ahead of that story. They should have, and they didn't. I think that was a misstep. But for the most part, I think Google has been transparent about a lot of the concerns that usually bubble up. Not all of them. I don't think they're concerned about the Google Maps 60 frames per second throttling. I don't think they're concerned about that, which is kind of sad for me. I don't think they're concerned about the 4K 60 frames per second because I don't think it's going to sell any more devices. Would it make Pixel owners happier? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And now, as a matter of fact, the camera update, which hasn't rolled out, 7.2, which I've been refreshing, madly all day, will have a different way of storing the videos in a far more file size efficient fashion. So with a smaller file size, maybe we will see higher resolution, higher frame rate in tow, but we don't know. I just want to, really end this and then turn back to the comments to kind of read the comments. And I don't think we have any super chats here or any new members, so I'm good there. If I miss a super chat, hopefully I'll catch it as scrolling back. Casual reminders. 1, experience isn't necessarily empirical. One size fits all. Okay, you feel me? This is where I really get agitated. Like when people jump into the comments and say, it does have a wide-angle lens. Okay. In fact, I will tell you this. The photos that I posted in Discord today, again, live.perillo.com, I couldn't have used the wide-angle lens. I needed the zoom. And so having a better zoom, the super zoom, and I don't know how well it's going to turn out because the brightness and contrast and everything. Let's see if I can dim it just a tad. Hopefully that's the right dimming. There we go. How about that? So, okay, it is not going to look good on this camera. But pop into Discord. This particular image was posted. Wide angle would have done me no good because everything that was in the foreground I didn't want. I just wanted that. And so I knew that by zooming in, I could get a higher quality shot. So would I prefer that shot and others? 9 times out of 10, I would use a zoom over a wide-angle lens, and Google knows what we're doing. They do. They said we didn't prioritize certain things because our users don't use those things. They're not wrong. Zoom. It's a big deal. So I can tell you, just an average, not even thinking about it. I have in the time that I needed to take pictures, I've needed now. Because I'm in I was in the car, I was parked, right? I'm like, okay, I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, oh, wow, because the autumn leaves are beautiful here this time of year, no doubt. By the way, Dennis, I think you got your iPhone 11 Pro, or you're getting one. We're going to do a photo walk together, so we'll be able to do a side-by-side of the iPhone 11 Pro photo and maybe video too, I don't know, and then the Pixel 4 XL photo as well. So and we'll make it fair, and I don't think it's to find a winner or a clear winner. I'm just kind of curious. I'm like, okay, because that's the way I found it. Like, oh, wait, some of those shots are actually good. And like, oh my God, that is absolutely ghastly. I would never want to use that photo. I would want to tweak the coloring on it. Does the iPhone shoot in RAW? natively? I can't remember. I mean, the Pixel does, but I mean with the default camera. I know you can get apps for it. But anyway, it's the idea that if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, okay, fine, move on. Find your tribe and move on. I am always on the lookout for a better experience. Always. And that's never going to end. It's why I've stayed so fluid. I know, just as soon as you think you have me figured out, I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. A lot of people are very wrong about me. Unless you listen to me like a broken record, then you're right. If you can predict what it is that I'm going to say, then you're right. And here's the bottom line. This is my feelings. These are my perspectives. They're my opinions. Wait, this is where I insert an animated GIF. That's my opinion! I'm a real housewife. No, I wish. Life would be so much easier, I think. Did you know that the ex-wife of Kelsey Grammer was a real housewife? Did you know that? I didn't know that. She actually appears in an episode of Frasier. Like, she was in when he was playing, or when Niles was Cyrano de Bergerac, and he was wife, or Daphne was wife of Bath, I think. Anyway, so I love Frasier. Okay, anyway, so... oh, God, I shouldn't have derailed myself. You could have the most amazing piece of hardware. This is I could pick either one. I can pick any device I have in my hand. It doesn't matter what these are, right? The most amazing piece of... Look, this hardware has got the wickety-daddle processor inside and a gajillion terabytes of RAM and the fastest solid... It's so solid state, it doesn't even exist. It's a quantum drive, and the screen, the contrast is better than real life, and what else can it do? It can make popcorn. The hardware is amazing. This hardware is amazing. But if the software that's running on top of the hardware ain't, what kind of experience are you going to have? You got the best hardware, you got the fastest hardware, but the software is slow and clunky, clunky, not well designed, not well executed, unpolished. Like, sometimes icons are over here, sometimes they're over there, and then there's weird screen flashing going on, not because of the hardware, because the hardware's perfect, but the software, not so much. You gonna have a good experience with the world's fastest hardware? Are ya? Are ya? Now, conversely, let's just say, for argument's sake, we're going to turn the tables. You have the world's not fastest computer right here. It's the world's not fastest. It's definitely not the fastest. There are other phones that are faster. Sorry, computers, pocket phone, whatever. Dude, does anybody call on these things anymore? It's not the fastest. Doesn't have all the specs. You know, it's not. It only has one lens. You know, and the other phones, that one's got 5 lenses. Therefore, it's 5 times as lensier. And it takes, that other one over there takes 84 bajillion megapixel photos. This one only takes like 12 megapixel photos. So this hardware is not that great. But the software makes it sing. Would you rather have the hardware doing its job with software that's not quite up to speed, or would you rather have hardware that may not be as great as other hardware, but software that just makes it shine? I'm not saying there's a clear, answer to this question. Everybody's different. Personally, I'm going to go with the software thing every time. Every single time. It's why I love working for Intel. I know Intel, hardware, software too. Remember, the Intel graphics team is working on the Intel Graphics Command Center, and we're listening to community feedback. And it's my responsibility to take that feedback directly to engineers. So if you're missing something in your graphic software on the Windows PC, you gotta let me know. I'm serious. Because The software will help make your hardware sing. It'll unlock the power of your hardware that you didn't even know was there. This, to me, is the same story as what happened between iOS 6 and iOS 7. This is the same story that got me to effectively look seriously at the iPhone, which back then, I'm trying to think, what didn't the iPhone have that other phones had? Didn't have a physical keyboard. Didn't have video recording capabilities. Do you remember that? Couldn't record video on the first iPhone. No 3G. Everyone up and down was slagging the first iPhone because it didn't have 3G. How could it compete? How could it compete? Because the software sang. It was optimized for the hardware. And that, to me, is what Google is attempting to accomplish with the Pixel. Attempting. And I'm not saying they hit it and they nail it every time. Still got some work to do there, Google. But that's the story they're trying to tell. So I've given that scenario for several years, but it's still very much true. What you need and what you want isn't for everybody. Oh, you would use the wide-angle lens more often? Cool. I probably wouldn't. In fact, I prefer a wide-angle lens on the selfie cam, quite honestly, because that's when I need it. That's usually when I need it, because my arm only stretches so far, okay? I've got short arms. What do you want? So I need wide-angle on the front. Google took care of that. If I need wide-angle on the back, I pick up a moment lens. Problem solved? Problem solved? So what you need isn't what everybody else needs. And I know you want to comment and you want to tell me that I'm wrong and that I actually want what you want. I know you want it. You want it. You want it so badly. You can taste it. I need to tell Chris that he needs what I need. Dude. Seriously? That's when I'm reading, I'm like, dude, what dimension do you think we're in right now? Like, I am autonomous. I am feeling not so insecure about my decisions. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay, it's a big world. It's a big internet. No one's forcing you, unless they are. If anybody is forcing you to watch me and listen to me prattle on and on about this stuff, talking about what reviewers get right and wrong about, well, at least the Pixel 4 and maybe in general, I probably sound like a broken record. Does anybody have records? I have records. Recent one I got was the Christmas in the Stars album, Thrifting. Finally! Couldn't believe I found that. What looks good to you isn't necessarily good for all. And nobody sucks because they chose something you didn't. Unless the thing you chose was pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry, we're never going to see eye to eye on that. Get out. Get out. You know, there's also candy corn pizza. Like, come on. Just because it's... No. No! No! Okay, go ahead. You eat your candy corn pizza, put pineapple on top of it, and you have a field day. Ain't my mouth, ain't my problem. And I'm also going to explain this. So a lot of people say, well, the Pixel's not going to sell. Okay, I don't think Google's going to stop doing it. Google's executing on software. They're perfecting software and services. So to help the rest of the Android ecosystem, they have to understand it differently. And I have no insight in terms of how Google works. But if you just think about it, it's somewhat logical, right? They're making Android or driving Android development for an entire ecosystem. Billions of devices, right? Like, Google's got to, eat its own dog food, so to speak. And Pixel's the best opportunity. Do they expect to outsell the iPhone? I would be shocked if they did. That's not realistic. Would they expect to outsell other Android devices? I also don't think that's realistic because, again, it's a software story. The Android ecosystem is not going to suffer from the lack of Pixel pickup. What I'm saying is that, is Android hurt by this? No. Not really. It's helped. It's helped by the Pixel. And if it helps just a little bit, I think it's been worth the cost to Google. And it's given me an experience that otherwise I would not have. I don't know what I'd be using right now if it wasn't for the Pixel. I really don't. I shudder to think about that because I don't know. Pixel 4 is also out at Amazon. Amazon had some shipping issues. People were complaining about that. But also, there aren't as many pixels in the world as iPhones, so it's not like they have this massive inventory. I don't think that's a fake selling out. I just don't think there's a lot of inventory. The device should sell well on its own merits, but it just wouldn't surprise me. Bacon pizza would be great. You know, I've had bacon on pizza. It's delicious. I can't do that anymore, but that's okay. I'm scrolling up now. I'm gonna go. Wait, should I start at the beginning? I'm gonna read the comments backwards. I'm violating the first rule of YouTube. Never read the comments. That's what you're not supposed to do. So I'm gonna go back through the comments. Before I do want to showcase a couple of the pickups I got tonight. The Kylo Ren diecast all-terrain. This is the new sculpt of Kylo Ren as a Supreme Leader. Kylo Ren. I don't think they've done any new all-terrain character cars apart from this one, and you can tell because he's got the red cracks there, the seams. And I also, good news, found the new character cars. First appearance, Rey. So she's got more of the white tunic on the car, and I'm gonna open it. Oh, or was I gonna open that? I wasn't planning on opening that. Oh well. The Kylo Ren first appearance again with the red cracks, and then Dio. All the other releases in this particular wave are just re-releases, so I'm not inclined to get new packaging. Also available today, you should be able to find at Walgreens, exclusive to Clone Commander Obi-Wan Kenobi. Amazing face sculpt. Amazing. Cannot wait for the Kenobi series on Disney+. It will be epic. Guaranteed. Because Ewan McGregor's there, I'm in. Trust me, that one's going to be a hit. A hit. Oh, it's going to be a hit. Why no bacon pizza? Because I'm vegan. Let's see here. Now, scrolling up through the comments. Oh, come on. You know I couldn't get through an entire video without once mentioning Star Wars. Who do you think I am? Okay, what's this with all this pineapple on pizza love? Joshua has records. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got a few of them, not because I listen to them all that often, but when I see him thrifting, I'm like, oh, the Muppet movie on vinyl. Okay, I'll grab that. If I see a Weird Al Yankovic on vinyl, I'll grab that. I wanted Christmas in the Stars on vinyl because I never had that as a kid. Didn't even know it was an album until Amazon re-released it on CD, and now it's like my favorite Christmas album of all time, beating out Vince Guaraldi in the effectively the Charlie Brown Christmas album, which is stellar. I'm listening to Cuphead now, and that gives me flashbacks. A great game album, second in maybe ties with Grim Fandango from back in the day. Scrolling up. See, okay, so here's a comment here. Chris Lee Senna says, "You're so right about that. I'm a very happy Pixel 3a user with all the hardware downsizing." See what I'm saying? It's about the software, and I mean even Diana's Pixel 3 is still rock solid. Like honestly, I think it runs. The A seems to run smoother than her Pixel 3 seems to have run more smoothly than the Pixel 3 XL that I had. I don't know if it's because of the difference in resolution or what, but it just seems to be a bit snappier. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Same internals that I know of, apart from the screen resolution pushing. I'm not going to say that it's as snappy as the Pixel 4 XL, but Ultra Goji says, both hardware and software have to work cohesively in order for it to function properly. Amen. If iPhone run at its fastest CPU frequency to make crisp frame drop happy, the battery life would be really bad. I wouldn't care. I would take poorer battery life for better software any day of the week. Any day of the week. I don't care. I don't care that my battery drains 10% faster, whatever the number is, on my Pixel 4 XL. I don't care. I'm 90 frames per second, baby. Ain't ever looking back. And Google Maps is locked down to 60. Shame, shame, shame. What the heck? Oh, so that's why I won't need a hardcore gaming PC. I'm a PC gamer on my Intel Nook. I would go with a better PC if the games that I wanted to play played better on them. Absolutely. But I would want better hardware to play the games better. So you understand what I'm saying? Not just the better hardware for the hardware's sake. Because the games, the software that I want to play would run better. So Do you hear what I'm saying? So they run in conjunction with one another. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, hardware's horrible. No, not at all. I'm just saying that what would motivate me to get new hardware, it always does, is better software, a better software experience. That's why I upgrade my phone. Not because of better hardware necessarily, but because it's a better software experience. Theoretically. This is the 90 hertz kills it. Kills it. Diana's live streaming on Facebook. Oh yeah, I think she is streaming on Facebook. I don't get the notifications on Facebook very well, and so I don't know how I'm going to be able to update that on Discord. The best part of the hardware is it comes in Stormtrooper, says Evan. That's funny. But I'm a pure black kind of guy, like as far as like the devices are concerned. I'm listening to some reviewers talking about the colors. I'm like, okay, I guess we're reviewing colors now. That's a personal choice. Once you get used to regular software updates on a Pixel phone, it's hard to go back to another Android device. Earl, did you switch to a Pixel? Did I not know that? Maybe I did. I don't know. Oh, Ben's multitasking, watching Diana's live stream on Facebook right now. To Jedi dressed up. Oh, you're gonna love this. She dressed up as Diana made her this outfit. As you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Okay, I love it, and I'm biased because I'm her daddy. Let me see if I can get a good one there. She's got. I mean, I took a handful of photos, but I'm looking for a good one to. I'm humble bragging. I helped bring her into this world. Best thing I've ever done, right here. No, not get a Pixel 4 XL, you nerd. Jedi. This is a night sight shot. Yeah, not quite dusk, but taken on the Pixel 4 XL. And here I can zoom in too. It was cropped in that aspect ratio. But I mean, it just kills me how sharp the images are, even in without direct daylight. But she wanted to. Everything's pink, right? So a half pink Vader, pink and black is a great combination. Should I post that to Discord? Fine, I'll post it to Discord. You guys can do some pixel peeping. Share. I don't like the Google Photos share menu. It's non-standard. That annoys me. Hopefully they'll replace it. But Google Photos is kind of in a world of its own. Okay, Discord. Scroll. Where Google Chatter. Okay, it's coming to Google Chatter, folks. Boom. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading. See, this is where I wish I had music in the background. This is a big rant, Chris. Well, these are some thoughts that I had after listening to Pixel 4 reviewers, not talking about software. I'm like, okay, we get the hardware. Everybody can see the hardware. Let's talk about the software. Let's talk about the experience. What was your experience like? That's what I want to know from a reviewer. I want them to be biased. I demand that my reviewers be biased. Michael Jacobs says, you're going to make me want this phone. Oh, Michael, that's funny. And you have a face emoji. What do they call them? The emoji face thing on Apple. I mean, hey, let me tell you. You want the best of both worlds? I'm not joking about this. Get a Pixel smartphone. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but if you want the best of both worlds, Pixel smartphone, iPad Pro. I will be up, and this is the thing. Next Apple device I likely get is going to be an iPad Pro when they release the update. This one's been a champion. If Scuttlebutt's accurate, it'll have the new camera array and, of course, be faster and everything. But yeah, the iPad Pro, the iPad OS is in conjunction with ProMotion and the speed of this device. iPad OS is snappy. I would consider it snappy. Not perfect. Not out of the woods yet, but definitely something that I'm very satisfied with. I'm very satisfied in using the iPad OS on the iPad Pro specifically. This iPad Pro, the 11-inch whatever. And I will upgrade. I will. Sell the old one. But yeah, I will absolutely upgrade. Some gadget guy. Who? Are you talking about me? I'm not a gadget guy at all. Star Wars guy. Yeah, gadget guy, not so much. Yeah, I guess it's fine. I know what's going on. I was sinking a little lower. This is where I wanted to be. And this chair is so old. Like, this chair, by the way, older than YouTube. This chair, right here. This chair is probably older than half of you. This chair, came into my life in 1999. That's how old this chair is, and I'm still using it to this day. Checking for comments. I'm just looking for things that might add to the conversation. Good commentary, don't get me wrong. No, not really seeing anything there at the beginning. Except for John Kirby. What Star Wars stuff are you getting Jedi for Christmas? Probably not a lot. Honestly. She just wants candy. If I get her candy of any kind, she's thrilled. I'm going to nudge her towards entrepreneurship, selling candy in the neighborhood. So I know some kids sell like lemonade. I'm like, no. We'll get candy in bulk and you can sell that. Like that'll be an easy sell. Like we'll sell candy. She'll open up a little candy shop. Reddit is dead. Find something the same. Are you serious? Reddit ain't dead, dude. All right, cool. I think. Earl, you're all the way in Romania. Okay, scrolling back to the up to date comments. I personally wouldn't take a phone reviewer's opinion into account when it comes to software because that's not their job, okay? They review the phone as if they're trying to sell it to the average consumer. See, that's impossible. Hello, Speeding Cheetah. Duff's Vids asks, will you get a new iPhone when the 8 Plus stops supporting iOS? It's a good question. I don't like using the I don't use it all that often. The only time I use the iPhone 8 Plus is when I test an update. Like, is it better? Is it more usable now? And inevitably I'm like, I really don't want to use this right now. And then I go back to my iPad and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. You want to know the killer app on iOS? This isn't a joke. The killer app, Apple Arcade. I'm not even lying. I love games on my iPad. Love them. An Apple Arcade game you got to play is called Patterned. It's like a puzzle game. Oh, it's like I love the game. Trying to get Pac-Man. Trying to play games Pac-Man because you can do Pac-Man share code and then join a person in a game. I was trying to do that the other day. But anyway, neither here nor there. I like playing games on the iPad. Apple Arcade is killer. Nice iPhone 11 Pro photo, Chris. Yeah, you wish. You have a Pixel in addition to your phone, Earl. Okay, got you. Did I finally get rid of my 2015 regret? I did. We did. We're now on not a hybrid vehicle, but it's an electric vehicle that has a gas fallback, and we lease. And so when the lease is up, they're no longer making the car, so we're gonna have to find a new one. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little worried as to what we're going to be getting next. Disney is thinking of redoing the Star Wars holiday for Disney Plus. Thoughts? No, they're not. It was kind of a joke from Jon Favreau. Talking about the holiday special, whatever, but it would be hilarious if they did. I think they should. I would love to see a new Star Wars holiday special. Love to see it. Love, because man, that first Star Wars holiday special, that was some trippy stuff. Woo! Trippy. Definitely not a Tesla. Definitely not. I'm the only one who doesn't want a Tesla. Rodriguez, just said the experience from Pixel is something you can't understand until you have a Pixel. No amount of hardware can give you the experience you get from a Pixel phone. This is what I'm saying. What do I think of Star Tours getting new scenes at Disney Park? Well, I think that's normal. That's great. We're going to go to the new moon from the Endor system. I can't remember the name of it. It's got 2 words in it. I'll remember it eventually. Jana's from there. She's a native. TLDR, the Mandalorian after show. Just saying. Okay, Dennis, we're gonna do it. No, I'm serious. Like after a Mandalorian episode, I'm probably gonna go stream on YouTube. Like whenever it goes public or live, to basically not because I can't rebroadcast it because I definitely get flagged. But I'd love to do a Mandalorian breakdown. Oof. Almost rewatch it in the background with everybody. Okay, so and then we talk through the episode. But I can't rebroadcast it. The Disney will not like that. Whatever happened to the 24/7 stream? I developed something called privacy, and I enjoy it. Angel, please. Chris says, Angel, you keep trying. Bless your heart. Do a review. Asking Chris, please do a review on the iPhone 11 on the fence between Pixel 4 XL and the iPhone 11. I can't help you there, bro. I'm not going to spend the money. I'm not going to do it. Didn't want to spend the money on the 10 or the 10S, and definitely not the 11. So, no, I'm good. Is it playable on Apple TV? It is. It is. I don't know if I'd want to, though. It's definitely more of a touchscreen type of experience. But Apple Arcade is unlocked on all your Apple devices. Like I said, Apple Arcade is the killer Apple app, and they need to. I mean, they need to pump Arcade, dude. Pump it. If anything, that would get that would be, I would say, one factor. A software factor, a big software factor that would have me looking at the iPhone again. Seriously, it's a big win, a huge win. I like what Google Play is doing, though. They updated the Google Play subscription service, whatever they're calling it, and they've got a few apps now, a few more apps that are usable. I'm like, oh, I'd use that, like a retouching app and a couple other things. Some games, not amazing games, like. They've got a long way to go in terms of quality control, Google, by comparison of the apps that you buy into for the subscription service. But for $2 a month, even for $5 a month, it's not that bad. Just the Apple Arcade is absolutely killer. Absolutely killer. I can't help you, Angel. Even if I told you a review of the iPhone 11, I don't know if that would help you any. I really don't. Like, that's it. It all comes down to what you need and what you want. Dennis has been playing Rayman Mini. I have not picked up my Switch, so after this stream, I'm not going to be gaming on Twitch tonight. I'm going to do some Tetris 99ing. I did vacuuming. I did some chores. Then it'll be time to play. We're about at an hour, so maybe a couple more questions, and I'll start winding down. Reminding everybody that if you head over to live.perillo.com, that's Discord, and you can join us there. Talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about. Plenty of room. Do I think Google will give unlimited photos again? Because I'll miss that with the Pixel 4. I doubt it. Now they're pushing Google One with discounts and stuff. I guess I think that ship has sailed. Let's see here. What camera am I filming on? Oh, this is like over a decade old camera. It's an old one, very very old. I could Canon HV40, very old. William Frank asks, do I like the new iPhone? I don't know anything about it, so I can't really answer that question. Pointless to spend money on the iPhone. I'm sure you can get a review unit somewhere. Oh, Angel, are you sure about that? I mean, I didn't really ask for it, but I don't think that's ever happening. I just don't. I don't chase down new hardware. Oh, yeah, Timothy. There is a tall Essential phone that they're working on. Like, it's very tall. Good luck with that. What's the best low-cost phone for poor country? I don't know, dude. That's completely up to you. Sadly, I just logged on, just got off work, and you missed it. Apple AirTag. Man, you're killing me. Yeah, I do need some water. Actually, I'm just going to go with the refill of some hot cocoa in my Kylo Ren tumbler. Let me show you something here. This is a little gadgets. You want gadgets? I got gadgets. You can't really see the lettering because I've got the exposure locked on the screen. But these letters can slide in and out. I think it's a Target exclusive. You get little letters here, and you can make little, what do they call them, boards. Just runs on batteries. Cool little board there. I keep all the extra letters in an old Jelly Belly tin with Chewbacca on it. I'm sitting in front of a Mimbin Trooper from Walmart exclusive. They were selling like half price. It's not a Chris Pirillo video unless he unboxes a Star Wars figure. Okay, now it's officially a Chris Pirillo video. Super articulated Mimbin Trooper, although I didn't mind the 5 POA. They're very difficult to find in that first solo wave. Very dirty trooper. Dirty trooper. But a cool trooper. Army built, I was trying to army build because they were just so cheap, like half off. I'm like, dude, that's crazy for a super articulated figure. And of course the weaponry, which I'm not as excited about. Look, it's a dirty stormtrooper. Who wouldn't want this? Everybody wants this. Everybody. I think that we can all agree. Star Wars figures are awesome. We may not agree on pineapple on pizza. We may not agree on the choice of smartphones. We may not agree that it's okay to point a stormtrooper at somebody across the internet. But I think we can agree that stormtroopers are awesome. Hey, No Life. Speaking of no life, I'm going to go have a little life. I'm going to go play some Tetris 99. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. And you know, I hope you tune in. Hope you turn on notifications. I hope I broadcast into the right channel next time. I've not seen Duplo Star Wars, unfortunately. I also appreciate the love from Angola, and I am still vegan. I mentioned that briefly in relation to bacon on pizza earlier, but I know you probably just tuned in. It's all good. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Turn on notifications. Feel free to join us on live.perillo.com, Discord. That is live 24/7. Chat with each other, post photos, ask questions, blah, 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 blah. And thank you for your patience, your endurance, your understanding, your appreciation. I love you, and I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. And may the Force be with you always.